patient for you today.
That we do.
So we're going to get right into it. Community service. Helping people. Sacrificing your needs and wants for the betterment of another person's life. Why would you do that? What's the point? Well, it all started for us with the book A Lesson Before Dying by Ernest J. Aaron and Ryan read this book before, and they wanted me to read it. They knew right off the bat, and I was a little skeptical, being that it was about prejudice and racial segregation. I read a lot of books in the past, and I felt like you read one, you read them all, but I was very wrong. This was one of the more sentimental books that has really touched me in my life in a long time. And it's basically a story about redemption. It really shows the strength of the human heart and how strong the power of love is. In a nutshell, it's about a man named Jefferson, and he is falsely convicted of murder because of his race, and he is sentenced to the electric chair. And his aunt knows a teacher, the town's teacher. She wants the teacher to come see Jefferson, but she doesn't want him to teach him physics or math, because it has no use to him. She wants him to teach Jefferson to be a man again, to have dignity, to give respect for himself. And that's a big goal, and Grant reluctantly, agreed. And it was their meetings were slow at first, but throughout the end, you really saw a big change in Jefferson. And I came to the conclusion at the end of the book that it wasn't Grant's actual teaching that made Jefferson change in the end. It was the fact that he wanted to be there. The fact that the teacher, his name is Grant, the fact that Grant, showed Jefferson the respect, showed him, the love, and this opened Jefferson's eyes, and, saw a new world. And, when his time came for him to go to the chair, he walked up with his head up. He didn't cry, he didn't beg, he had dignity, and that really touched me in my life. So this brought us to the question, why do people give to each other? I was really curious if this was a phenomenon, or can it really be repeated again? So throughout the whole year, we have followed this question, and it's led us on an amazing journey. So Ryan will show us how he got the ball rolling with this.
All right. So with the central question of why community service, we want to just ask the people, get a good idea of why everybody does community service. So to do so, we thought at first that maybe it'd be cool to get like a different audience, maybe. So we decided to ask audience of kids, teenagers, and then ask adults why they do these three questions that we came up with. So to reach the kids, we decided to make a Facebook page, and we asked questions. So this page was just based on the questionnaire that we came up with. We got 744 members, and so our three questions are: why do high school students do community service? Why do adults do community service? And how do you feel after doing community service? So with these three questions, we asked both adults and teenagers the same question. So we're going to get an answer of why high school students think they do community service, and why adults think that high school students do community service, and the same with adults as well, with the question for adults. So this was purely for the kids. And
so then we thought, we have to reach the adults. And not many of us kids are friends with adults on Facebook for obvious reasons. We don't want them seeing our pictures, we don't want them seeing our statuses and all that stuff. So we thought, why not utilize our technically savvy English teacher, Mrs. G, and go to Twitter, where she has tons of followers and people. So she went above and beyond yet again and helped us really connect with an adult audience. And we got told all different responses from all over the world, and we were able to. Here's an example of what it looked like through Google Docs, and Twitter is an example of what it looked like. And then you can, hello Sarah. And then using this information, we were able to make graphs. So I'm curious if the class would just volunteer answering this question. Why do high school students do community service? So, college applications. Raise your hand if you agree that that's why high school students do community service. Be honest. Not just you. Why do high school students in general do community service? College applications. Pretty good majority. Give back to the community. A few. Professional experience. Self-satisfaction. Okay, so it's a pretty good mix. Let's take a look at the graphs. Here's what we got from Facebook. As you can see, we got 77% for college applications, so a large majority said that. We had a few comments from some of our classmates and peers. Stephen Gomez said, our school president no less, I think it's become about college applications because people do get satisfaction in community service because who honestly hates being nice? That is literally, you can hear Gomez's voice while reading that. This was from Jocelyn, another student government member. She said, hey guys, I think a lot of kids do it for college applications, stuff like student government or National Honor Society because it's required, but then sometimes there's community service that kids do just because they like, because they enjoy it, which a lot of you said. And then Yosef, Pharrell's brother, who graduated last year, had a rather humorous response. Sometimes I watch my neighbor's cats for free when he needs to go grocery shopping. For free, you know? Because I'm nice and stuff. I don't know. Whatever. P.S. That's a headline story. P.P.S. You're welcome.
The wrong door.
Okay, so now this is purely from adults. And as you can see, compared to the 77% of students who said we did it for college applications, adults said 54%. So as you can see, adults think much more highly of us high school students than we actually are. So, and then we had one comment from a female firefighter who said that they asked this question, the very question, why are you here? And a lot of the kids' responses said, like they said, they do it to help the community, knowing they can save a life or property is very rewarding. So, all right, and then the next question we asked.
All right. So our next question is, why do adults do community service? So I guess I'm going to ask you guys again, do you think it's for the goodness, out of the goodness of your heart? Or for adults? All right. Impress their peers? Out of guilt? All right. And to be a good role model. Now, a few of those are the same, out of the goodness of your heart, to be a good role model, that's all about the same. So to get in why, so this is what high school students answered, and it's pretty symmetrical, I guess, but they think that it's a tie between out of the goodness of your heart and be a good role model. So I guess that's nice to see. We see adults, I mean, everyone around here that we know, they're always helping us out, which is great. So now this is how adults think, well, why they do community service. And yet again, there's a big chunk out of goodness of their heart, which is always nice. And to be a good role model follows close behind, I guess. And now the same firefighter, yeah, that's just a big comment. No, it was just, the story was just about, there was one experience she felt was that really changed her was when she responded to a call and she was the one driving the fire engine and kids came out of the building that she was responding to and there was two little girls and they saw her and they thought it was the coolest thing that there was a female firefighter. The kids were just so impressed and they made her role model. That was firefighters her role model. So what she did was she let them come into the fire engine and I guess they were distracted from their grandmother that was in the house that was needing attention. So, and as soon as the girls left, they just had a big smile on their face and that they were inspired to, they knew that they could do whatever they wanted in life because I guess it's, what you see most is that there's male firefighters, but these girls saw that they could be firefighters and be anything they want. And yeah, so.
And for this question, we wanted to tackle the reason, how do people feel after they get community service? So for show of hands, how many people say they feel happy that it's over? Great.
Be honest.
That's good to see. That's good to
I don't
see.
want them to be honest. Okay. Motivated. How many are motivated to do more after you give? That's right. Get your hands. Okay. Satisfaction. Yes, that's the majority. And thankful for what you have. Yeah, that makes sense as well. Okay. Now going into the graphs, not surprisingly, most people felt satisfied because it is a good feeling that it gives you. It makes you feel whole and connected to the world around you. But in the second majority was thankful for what you have because when you go step out of your box and help other people, you know, you see how they live and then you see how you live and you compare and contrast and you realize how good you really have it. Okay. And thankfully, only 2% said happy that it's over. So not the majority or not. Yeah. Okay. Only a small set. Okay. And this basically summarizes what I just said. Most people are just satisfied that they gave back and they had nothing to gain but everything to give. And this is the adult version, which is pretty well distributed. They between satisfied, thankful what you have, and motivated you more. So adults, but there was more voters, so we had a more spread out distribution.
There you go.
Alright, so then we all decided we should all definitely do our own community service projects and see how it affected us personally. This is me, a picture with the one and only homecoming queen, Caitlin Service, who many of you know. I've known Caitlin since elementary school. She's always kind of had a big crush on me. This was very nice for me to come to the BOCES prom, be there, help out, dance with her, take pictures with her and stuff. It meant a lot to her. It also meant a lot to me, and really inspired me to help those with special needs. And this summer I'm actually working with my mom at Cardinal Hayes Home, which is a home for mentally challenged people, where I'm going to be working as a teacher's aide. So I'll be working with people with all kinds of disabilities, and hopefully I can make a big impact on their lives.
All right, so I guess I wouldn't say, I guess HARP was my favorite program that I participated in, and I used to I don't really see it as community service because I enjoy it probably more than the kids enjoy it. Just the fact of going there, and I see it more of an after-school activity than community service, and just getting involved with the kids and seeing how happy they are when we walk in, and it's just great. They're always excited to say, "Oh, are you from high school?" I remember a girl, she was, I don't know what grade, she very young, and she just looked up and said, "Are you in high school?" And a few kids asked if I was 30 years old. They got a range from 12 to 30, so it was it's just nice to work with the kids, and I always loved going. So that was my favorite program that I was involved in.
Okay, and yes, that's me with a couple of elderly people. But before this, I actually, with the help of Miss Bellino, my teacher, I went to the lunchbox a couple of times, and I think a total of 3 times. And this was my civic active leadership project, which is the class I'm in there with. And I thought it was pretty convenient, and I think it just seemed that everything happened, it came together as it should, that I'm doing a community service project while I'm doing this project with Ms. G. And basically, I really do like the elderly people. I live with my grandparents, so I know how exciting they can be. So I decided to go see a group, gather a group of elderly people, about 8 to 10 people, and I would play brain games with them. I would stimulate the mind, bring happiness to their faces. I'm pretty personable, so it was really fun with them. And this was some of them that I sat with, real witty. If you mess up, they really would let you know. They don't. They're not scared. Okay.
So this brought us to what I guess I felt was the funnest part of our project was we started our own clothing drive. It was the Product Inspiration Clothing Drive, and this idea I guess sprouted in the beginning of April, but we have been working on this for months. So we got this started, and we contacted a few different organizations, and the Salvation Army was the one that said that they could really use the clothes the most, which was nice. So to advertise this, to get this really started, we created some flyers, made a few commercials, and at the end we got bags and bags of clothes. It really worked out great.
Okay. Well, anybody who's started a project or had some kind of task that they needed to do, you know how important it is to spread awareness and advertise. It's really important. So you can see that we have a flyer, and I didn't really have much say in it. It's more of Aaron's case. I don't even know who this guy is. But they were multicolored. They were everywhere. Okay. But this was my idea. I had this crazy idea to do. We should get the flyers and make T-shirts and shorts out of them because it's a clothing drive. But they completely ran with it and made a human being. That's our kid. That's our baby. That's a fireman. And he has a head, and, his sleeve and arms and everything. He's got a belt and he has a sword. And some nice white, Nike
Nikes.
Shoes, yeah.
Some shots.
Air Forces. Okay. And it's just devastating. Within, I think, 3 periods.
Top 3 saddest days of my life.
Yeah. I think within a day, he was just dismantled, and eventually you had to bring him down. I'm still trying to,
People probably brought the flyers home.
That's
Yeah.
right. He's in a better
that's
place.
Alright, you better move it. I don't want to choke up. Alright, so since we have this wonderful announcements at our school, we decided to take our clothing drive to the next level and get a commercial going. So this is everyone's favorite. Just throw it in the bag. It's loaded. You got the sound.
Should I just see? I don't know if the sound's on. Just look.
Plug in. Oh, it's not plugged in.
So where would I?
Oh dear.
Right here.
I'm filming this.
Technical difficulties.
No, not yet. All right.
Oh dear.
Oh, there we go.
It's the cat in our
Start it over. Start it over.
Freddie's a fan favorite, that's why.
Very fast.
Same shirt.
It is actually. It is.
And now, we present to you the never before seen by an audience other than the 3 of us. Our other commercial, this is big time. This is the fashion show commercial that we were unable to air. It's,
Loading again.
I look rather silly, that's safe to say. And Kanian lets me know how silly I look, to say the least.
So Kanian, I need help with the first day of school outfit. You got any ideas? Alright, kid. See what you got. Finally, that's it. Ready for the first day of school. But Kanian, what about all these clothes? Huh? Huh? Am I right? Yeah. Well, judging from the tightness of your pants, the shortness of your sleeves, the clashing of colors, and the lack of biceps, what I'm trying to do.
Alright, so I guess this really got us rolling, and we got great results. Great results. There was actually, I guess, some sort of a mystery donor. We walked into the guidance office, and there was 6, 7 bags of clothes just on the floor for us.
Nameless.
And no, there was no name. Just Ms. Dunn said a lady came in, said there was a clothing drive, and dropped them off. So we don't know who it was from, which I guess makes it I guess a little more interesting. That it's just someone reached out that I guess wasn't, I'm sure it was in our school, maybe not, and gave us a carload of bags. So we're going to bring it to the Salvation Army, and it was very successful. So I guess in closing, what I thought was the most interesting part is how one small question really transformed into this huge project that lasted months. And I guess what we got out of it was some good answers, but also that I guess the three of us are just, if you come together, you can really start some great things like this clothing drive we got. And now we have bags of clothes we can give to those who need them, and I thought that was the best part of this project.
Well, personally, what I learned from this project is how much you can change if you were to just take a risk and step out of your little small circle and make it bigger a little bit. I mean, there's a great big world ahead of us, and no person has really been successful by just doing what's good for themselves. You can only really thrive and really blossom by helping people and really being genuine in helping people. You shouldn't just give to help, expecting something in return. You should give everything you have, and that really, set me up and really taught me something, valuable lessons for this whole year that I'm pretty much going to carry for the rest of my life. And I hope you guys have learned some things or two from us as well.
That's it.